I made the unfortunate decision of eating judgement. And it might come back to haunt me later this show. Alright? Well, until it does, I will just be moving a little slower. Jeff is back. Welcome, welcome. I think I just saw it pop up on my screen when I opened up the TikTok app that says you sent me a message. I'll check that later when I am done with the show, but I haven't seen it yet, in case you're wondering what that's about. I haven't opened TikTok yet today. Alright. Whew. It's time for us to do some side splits and hip mobility. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're about to put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more easy to stay consistent with. Alright, so let's get going. Let's get to it. Let's go. We're gonna start with some hip curls. Hip curls are all about moving your hips through their maximum range of motion using your own muscles. And they look a little bit like this. We're going to start by lifting this knee up as high as we can, directly in front. If you feel like you've stopped, you can still go. Go a little further. A little bit more. And now open up to the side. Alright? When you bring it open to the other side, I want you to also lift up. Contract those muscles. And then we're going to rotate. Bring the ankle up. So it's hiding behind the knee, only from this angle. From here, it's just horizontal. And keep on rotating. Bring the ankle up some more. Bring the knee down. Feel your hamstrings contract, and bring the leg down and back. When you bring the leg down and back, from the front, it's going to look like it's disappeared. But from the side, it's going to just be you flexing your hamstrings, flexing your glutes, flexing and stretching your hip muscles. Cool? That is one rep. We're doing 10 of these on the left side, 10 of these on the right side. Then we're going to reverse the whole thing, do 10 more on the left, 10 more on the right. We're doing 40 reps. If you're ready, let's begin. I'm going to get rid of one of these squares. The squishiness of the foam is really bothering me. It's making my ankles real tired, and it feels better already. Let's go. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's five. High knee. Open. Oh, I'm off balance. Ankle some more, down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's seven. Ooh, my left hamstring is cramping up. This is good. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's eight. Two more. High knee. Open. Ankle up some more, down and back. That's nine. Last one. High knee. Open. Lift. Rotate. Down and back. That's 10. Oh, man, it's like the balancing leg is super tired now. Whew. The hip that's doing the work. That one's not even that tired. The balancing leg is the one that's worked for me today. Whew. Alright. That is one leg. We got a whole bunch more legs to do. We got 3 more legs to do. Let's continue on the other side. I'm going to move this leg off the foam to high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's two. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's three. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's four. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's five. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's six. High knee. Open. Ooh, off balance. Ankle up. Down and back. That's seven. If you are also off balance for whatever reason, if you're swinging your hips a little too hard, too aggressively, feel free to hold on to something. All right, high knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. I think that's 8. My fingers want me to say 8. I don't actually remember. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 9. Last one. High knee. Open. Ankle up. Down and back. That's 10. Oh, those are some hip flaps. And we got a whole bunch of that coming in. That's 8, homie. That's 10, homie. Oh, okay, cool. We did get to 10. Nice. Sweet. Thank you. Thank you for counting for me. We just did our hip curls going forward. Now we're going to do some hip curls going backwards. When you're ready, let's talk about form. You don't have to be ready, I just have to be ready. So let's talk about form. Stick your leg back, flex the hamstrings, flex the glutes, feel the stretch right here. Then I want you to lift that leg up to the side. Alright? I want it to look more like this. Go, pa! Kick your enemies in the face. Maybe don't actually do that, but you know, we're lifting right here, feeling it. Right here. In the hip. From here, we're going to rotate. We're going to bring the knee down, ankle up. Ankle down, knee up, and we're going to bring that knee forward. That's one. We're not counting that one. That's just one. One looks like. Alright, we're doing 10 knees. Let's go. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. Now we've done one. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. Two. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's three. I ate food and finished my super fast meal. What is it? 17 minutes ago, I think. And I am feeling the consequences of that decision. That's five. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's six. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's seven. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's eight. Two more. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's nine. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's 10. Oh. Shake out your legs. Give a little wiggle. Give a little flop. Let the muscles relax a little bit because we got one more set of hip curls to do on this side. Let's go. Bring that leg down and back. Whew. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's one. Back. Side. Ankle up. Ankle down. Knee. That's two. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's three. I'm super off balance by myself. Balance. Fixed it. Fixed it. I didn't even have to step down. If you're off balance, please hold on to something. I'm a little too far from either wall, so I just kind of dangle around and I flop around. But you don't have to. Alright? Hold on to something if you need it. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's four. Keep going. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. That's six. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. Seven. I'm really focusing on contracting the muscles in the legs and the hips to help me stay a little bit more balanced, and it's working. But now my hip is so tired. I think that's nine. Last one. Back. Side. Ankle. Ankle. Knee. All right, we're done. Whew. Those are our hip curls. We just did 40 reps, and we're done with warm-up exercise number one. Don't worry, the rest of them aren't nearly this bad. All right. Let's move on into warm-up exercise number two. We're gonna fold at our hips. Bring the belly button down. Feel the stretch in our hamstrings, and I want you to just breathe for a second, right? Inhale. Exhale. Relax. Whew. Alright, now we're going to add some movement. We're going to bend one knee. We're going to straighten out the other. We're going to keep folding our belly button down towards the ground. We're going to switch back and forth between the leg that is bent and the leg that is straight. Alright, we're going to go boom. Other leg. Boom. Other leg. It's not just about the other leg, it's about the hamstring stretch that you're feeling as you get there. Alright? There's not an exact number of these that we need to do. I'm just going to do as many as it takes for me to tell you about the rest of the show. We're doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we're putting ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little bit more entertaining, so that it's easier to stay a little bit more consistent, alright? And, like side splits, if you like hip mobility, if you like the idea of having some people working out together at the same time every day, shout out to Che, Shareth, Queen R, and a lot of other people who don't comment as much, but I sometimes check the stats at the end, and I see that you're on for like an hour, several days in a row, so thank you everybody. Alright, where am I going with this? If you like a whole bunch of people doing consistency stuff, make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back, alright? That is enough about that. We're going to do 5 more of these, and then we're going to wrap them up. Fold a little deeper into the ground. Bring that belly button down, 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 down. Down some more. Keep going. And 5 more. 5. 4. 3. 2, feeling the hamstrings, 1, 0. Alright, pop into a bit of a squat, come back up into standing. That is our second warm-up exercise. Check out your leg, shake out your other leg, do a little wiggle if you can, and we're going to move on into our third warm-up exercise. Alright? Number 3 is called thoracic rotation. The thoracic spine is just below your neck, about to your belly button, this chunk of your spine right here. Alright? It's designed to be pretty good at moving. Most of us are not doing very much with that chunk of our spine. Maybe a lot of this, but not so much of all the other things. Right? So we're going to do some rotation now. We're going to get back into the position you were just in. One leg is bent, one leg is straight, and we're folding forward. Alright? From here, we're going to add to it. We're taking the arm from the bent leg side. We're going to reach across and push off of our straight shin bone. Alright? We're going to go wee and use that push to help us rotate our torso, our spine. From here, I want you to extend your arm up into the air, the only other arm that's not doing anything so far. If you can't reach that far, you're at an angle, that's perfectly fine. Just try your best to bring that arm all the way back over your shoulder. Alright? Inhale. Exhale and reach over your shoulder. Woo! That is half a rep. We gotta do this side. This leg is bent, this leg is straight, this arm is reaching across to the straight leg side. We're pushing off that shin, looking up at the hand. Inhale. Exhale, reach. Woo! That is 1 full rep. We're doing 5 of these in total. Remember to exhale. Take the pressure, bring it out of your lungs, get all that air out so that you can rotate a little bit more. We're going for number 2. Bent leg, straight leg, bent arm, straight leg. Open it up, look at the hand, inhale, exhale, and reach over that shoulder. Woo, 2. Other side, inhale, exhale, reach. Woo, that's 2 again. Other side, inhale, exhale, reach. That's 3. Other side, inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 3. Again, inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 4. Other side, inhale. Exhale, reach. That's 4 again. 1, last one. We're going to cover it from the top, alright? Because people might have come in while we were just doing a little crazy looking thing. We're going to bend one knee, straighten out the other leg. Fold our upper body down towards the floor. Take the arm on the bent leg side. Reach across to the straight leg. We're going to push off that straight leg to help rotate our chest. Extend your arm up into the air the best that you can. Rotate your neck. Look at your hand. Inhale. Exhale and reach over your shoulder. That's 5. Other side. Inhale. Exhale. Reach. Woo, that is 5 thoracic rotations. Hopefully, your spine is feeling maybe just a little bit strange, but hopefully also a little bit looser. Take a second, do some wiggling, do some shaking, do some body rolls, shake those hips like Shakira, and have a little bit of fun with hopefully the new looseness that you just brought along into your body. Alright, that's our third warm-up exercise. We're moving on into our fourth and final warm-up exercise. We'll do some Cossack switches. The Cossack switch looks a little bit like this. We're going to open up our legs just a little bit, not crazy, and we're going to come on down into a deep squat. This part starts looking a little crazy. If you're flexible enough, if you're strong enough and mobile enough, come on down as low to the ground as you can. There's a deep squat on this side and basically a side split on that side. Alright? For most people, you're going to be somewhere in between this position and that position. You might be around here. Alright? Wherever you are, it's all good. Our next step is to focus on bringing our butts over to the other side to get into this position, but the other way. Alright? If you're a little bit higher up and you're like, I got this, boom! And you can do it with some pizzazz. Feel free to go boom! And get your butt over to the other side. Alright? If you're a little bit lower to the ground and you need some help, feel free to put your hands down on the floor. Use it to walk yourself over to the other side and boom! Hello, we are done with half a rep, and now done with 1 rep. We're going to do 10 of these in total. Our starting position is just whatever you can do to get from side to side, and I'm going to add more difficult options as we go. Alright? That's 1. We got 9 more. Let's go. Come on over. Use your hands if you need to. If you're a little bit higher up and you just go and boom, great, perfect. Take your time. That's 2, by the way. Now we're coming back. 3. And 3. If you haven't already noticed, if you've got the strength, the mobility, the balance to do this without using your hands, feel free to continue without your hands. And I think this is number 5. If you want to make this a little bit more challenging, you can try and sit up a little bit straighter, a little taller, stick your arms out in front of you to counterbalance, and keep going. Across. And back. Whew, that's 6. And across. And back. That's 7. Right now. If your knees are telling you, hey, we don't like these anymore, because this side-to-side motion is a little challenging, we're going to make it a little easier starting right now. Alright? What I want you to do is come up a little bit, put some weight on those quad muscles, but then once you're up, it should be easier to slide across, right? And then come on down on the other side. Then come up, across, and down. That's 8, I think. Up, across, and down. And up, across, and down. Usually we wrap up with some squats, but it's a lot of work to explain it just for 1 rep. So we're going to do one last one. Up, and across, and down. Last one. Up, across, and down. That is 10 Cossack switches, Cossack sort of uppy, slidey things. Alright? We are done with our warm-up. Hopefully your hips are feeling a little tired, but mostly a little looser, a little bit more ready for some crazy stretching, because that's what is coming up. We are doing 45 to 60 minutes of live side split stretching and hip mobility work. We do this every single day to practice consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering a little bit more bearable so you can stay consistent with it. Right? If you like side split, mobility, consistency, all those things, some combination of things, 2 out of 3 things, then make sure to hit follow, hit subscribe, and keep coming back. Let's move on into our first stretch. We're doing the hamstring stretch, and what I want you to do is grab a little bit of padding for your knee, because we're going to do this really unique position. Ooh. I just dragged the whole entire room, like 3 feet or 2 feet across the room. And my brain is farting because I got nervous that I was going to knock over a huge dustpan and cause dust to fly everywhere. But that fortunately did not happen, so let's resume. We were grabbing a little bit of padding for our knees so that you can get down on one knee and extend one leg out in the front. Alright? Our hamstring stretch is going to look like this. We're going to fold forward, and the suffering is going to begin as soon as we start tipping forward. Alright? From here, what I want you to focus on is kneeling up nice and straight and tall. Ta-da! If you have some dirty laundry, roll it up, stick it under your knee. If you have a dog toy, stick the stuffing back in, stick it under your knee. If you have couch cushion, decorative pillow, anything with a little bit of padding, flip-flop, for example, that will also work just fine. You only need to pad one knee at a time because the other one is going to be in front. So if it's not a very big piece, that's okay too. Alright? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to fold our whole upper body down towards our thighs, or down towards the floor, however you want to imagine it for your own emotional convenience. And you want to do that by breathing in, exhaling, and folding. As soon as your hamstrings say, oh heck no, no more, we're not folding any further, feel free to stop. Pause right there. And just breathe. Alright, let's go. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Let your body chill, relax, flop into that leg, and let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. We're going for number 3. Y'all ready? Let's go. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Woo. From here, let's do some knee stuff. Alright? We're coming back up into a lunging position with this leg that's in front. Now we're stretching. We're going to try and fold our upper body down towards that leg. You should find that when your leg is bent like this, you can fold quite deep. If you can't reach all the way down, that's perfectly fine. Just try your best. Alright? From here, put your hands down on the ground if that is possible for you, and slowly straighten out your leg. Try to keep your chest and your leg relatively close together when you do that, and feel that hamstring stretch. That's 1. We're going to do this 5 times. Knee up, chest down, straighten it out. That's 2. Again, knee, chest, straighten. That's 3.
Take your time on that straightening part. Feel that hamstring stretch. Suffer a little bit through it, and not too much suffer. Just make sure you're feeling that hamstring stretch because it's important that you feel it. I think that's 5. When you've done 5, we're going to fold a little bit deeper. All right. I want you to straighten out your back just a little bit, and then I want you to take a big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold at the same time. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Ready? Let's go. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and bring your belly button down towards the ground. Fold, fold, fold. If your hamstrings are feeling crazy right now, that's perfect. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop over that leg. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. If your back is bending right now because you're just relaxing super hard, that's perfect. If your back is bending right now because you're trying to smash your face into your knee, you're working too hard. Chill. Cut it out, alright? Relax. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg. That's 3 times. It's time for the knee up, chest down, straighten. Let's go. Knee. Chest. Straighten. Woo! Hamstrings. Knee. Chest. Straighten. Woo! That's 2. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 3. If you're feeling mighty flexible and you're like the chest, the knee is holding me back, you can bring your arms in. You can fold forward so that your leg is on the outside when you're folding forward. All right. Knee. Chest. Straighten. Woo! I think that's 4. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 5. Alright. We're going to fold a little bit deeper. Again. Y'all ready? Let's go. Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold that belly button down. Fold, 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 fold. Exhale. Don't actually cry. I'm just making noises to keep you entertained. Inhale, exhale, relax. Let your body flop into the ground. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2 again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Last time. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 2. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 3. Take your time with this. If it feels like I'm going fast, just ignore me. Take your time. Feel that hamstring stretch, and once you've done your 5, we're gonna hang out here for 30 seconds, and that's how we end this one. All right? 30, 29, 28, 27. If you're a regular, when we get to 20 seconds, I want you to start smashing your heel into the floor. Not actually multiple times, just pushing your heel into the ground. Contract your hamstrings. Push into the ground, contract your abs, see if you can pull your upper body down towards your leg. Ready? 20, 19, 18, 17. If you're a regular, please try this. If you're brand new to the show, don't worry about it at all. Please just relax. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Everybody relax. 7, 6. See if you can sink a little deeper into the stretch if you're a regular after that contraction. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Oh man, that is our hamstring stretch. Bring your leg in underneath you. Do like a Captain Morgan's pose or something for a little bit. Catch your breath. And now I want you to flex some muscles, alright? I want you to flex your glutes like you're about to get spanked, alright? You want to go, protect your butt. And then I want you to flex your abs like someone's about to punch you. So that the 2 big chunks of muscle groups in your body are all working, helping you to stay nice and tall. And we're going to continue with our next hamstring stretch, alright? Back onto your knees, extend the other leg forward this time. Try to stay nice and tall, and let's get ready to fold. Inhale. Exhale and fold. Whee! As soon as your hamstrings tell you, hey, not today, we're going to inhale, exhale, relax. Alright, inhale. Relax. Let your body flop into that leg. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. If you ever feel like I'm telling you to breathe too fast, too much, you can always slow it down. And I'm adding in the sentence so you have a moment to chill if you need it. Alright, inhale. Exhale, relax. That's is 3 times. Now we're going to do the knee up, chest down, straighten. You know the drill. Knee up, chest down, straighten. Woo. Because it's the first time you're doing it on this leg, things might feel a little crazy compared to where you left off on that other leg. That is completely normal. It's also completely normal for one leg to be a little bit more flexible than the other, one leg to be a little bit stronger than the other. So if you're feeling some differences right now you know. In the future, if you want, because I spend a little bit more time explaining our first leg go around, you can start with your less flexible leg, with your less strong legs, so you get a little extra time on that leg. Alright? Whichever one that is. We have done the knee up, chest down, straighten. So now it's time to fold. Let's go. Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Woo, your hamstrings are crying. Let's go. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body flop into that leg again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper if you can. If you can't, don't stress it. That won't help. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper if you can. Massage those hamstrings and knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. That's 1. Again, knee. Chest. Straighten. Woo, that's 2. Again, knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 3. Again, knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 4. Keep going, knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 5. Again, if your back is rounded because you're just chilling, you're relaxed, that's perfectly fine. If your back is rounded because you're trying desperately to go, I must fold, and you're trying to smash your face into your knee, that's working too hard. Relax, relax, alright? Okay. Well, we just finished. I think it's time to fold a little bit deeper. You ready? Let's go. Inhale, exhale, fold. Big breath in. Inhale. Slowly exhale and fold, 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 fold. Bring that belly button down to the floor. Inhale, relax. Let your body flop a little bit more. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper. That's 2. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That is 3. Knee up. Chest down. Straighten it out. This is the last round of this. I promise. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 2. Knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 3. Again, knee. Chest. Straighten. That's 4. Knee. Straighten. That's 5. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds and we're ready to wrap. 30, 29, 28, 27. If you're regular, remember we're doing the pushing the heels down, flexing the hamstrings, pushing into the ground thing starting at 20 seconds. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. Everybody relax, 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 relax. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is our hamstring stretch. Next is our first stretch. And you felt like that was a lot, you felt that was a little crazy. Your hamstrings are crying right now. That is completely lot. And I got good news for you, and that is stretch number 2 and 3 aren't going to be as bad. Alright, let's get your butt over to a wall. I want your butt, your low back, your shoulders, your head up against the wall for stretch number 2. We're doing the butterfly. Once your butt is up against the wall, bring your feet together so that the bottoms are touching and pull them in towards your groin. This you might also know as the Taylor's pose. From here, we're trying to open up the inner thighs. We're trying to stretch out these muscles. The way we do the ground. So, I want you to use your own muscles. I want you to contract your glutes. I want you to contract your outer thighs. I want you to try your best to push your knees into the ground using your own strength. So you build some strength, you build some mobility at the same time. If that makes absolutely no sense to you, just try your best, and we're going to follow up with this in just a second. Alright? Next, take your hands and apply some pressure, going straight down into the ground. Go inside of your knee a little bit and give it a little bit of a push. You're going to feel tension building here in the inner thigh. You might feel some pressure in the back of your head because when you push your legs down, you're also pushing your shoulders and your head back.
That's completely normal. We're going to hang out here in this position for 30 seconds. I want you to breathe. Big, long, deep breaths. On the exhales, I want you to push a little harder into yourself, deeper into the exhale. 25, 24, 23, inhale. 22. 18. Inhale. Exhale. 10. 9. 8. Inhale. Last round. Exhale. 1. 0. That is our whole entire butterfly stretch. Slowly release the pressure off your legs. Let your arms come up. Move your wrists a little bit, nice and gentle to warm them back up. You're probably a little bit tired from pushing down into your legs. Start flapping the wings of your legs. Give them a little, because we're about to move on into stretch number 3. I told you, it's a little easier compared to stretch number 1. Huh? Alright. Shake, shake, shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. And let's get ready for stretch number 3. Moving on. We are going to primarily do the standing pancake, but if you have bad balance, there's another pancake for you. It's called the seated pancake. And I'm going to demonstrate that real fast first. The seated pancake looks a little like this. You're going to find something nice and tall and sturdy. Just take a seat on it, open up your legs a little bit. A little pressure here. And we're going to fold our belly buttons down towards the ground. Yeah. And if you want to make this harder, extend your arms over your head so that you can get gravity to work a little bit more. That is the basics of our pancake stretch. The goal is to take this upper body and bring it in between the legs. Now, for everybody else, if your balance is usually fine, we're going to work on the standing pancake. And that is because for most, probably pretty comfortable hanging out around 90 degrees in this angle, right? But the hamstring stretch, getting a little bit more forward is a little bit more challenging for most people. When we do the standing pancake, when you're in this 90-degree angle-ish, when your upper body is horizontal, that is when gravity is giving you the most help. And that's why most of us are going to benefit from being the standing pancake first. Alright? Unless you have balance issues. If you have balance trouble, then sit, because I don't want you to fall. Alright? Let's go. Hands are also up, so that your biceps are by your ears, and gravity will suddenly feel super intense, and you're going to want to fold forward. Perfect, that's what we're working on. If you want, you can widen your legs just a little bit. How far you widen them is up to you. It's going to change the intensity of the stretch, and it's going to add in a whole new set of muscles, so your inner thighs getting stretched at the same time. Now, we're going to keep on trying to bring our upper body down towards the ground, upper body down in between our legs, and we're going to hang out in whatever position we can get into for about 30 seconds. Alright? 30, 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Put your hands down. Bring your legs in underneath you. Wiggle your toes, your heels, your toes, your heels, your toes, your heels together until you're able to get back into something that looks a little bit more like standing body to help you back up. And that is our third stretch. That is our standing pancake. Alright? We're going to move on to our fourth stretch. We only have 5 in total, so fourth is pretty close to the end. Congratulations. We are moving on into, I believe, did we do figure 4 last night, or did we do pigeon last night? I can't remember. Did we do figure 4 or did we do pigeon last night? I feel like we did figure 4 last night, so we're going to do some pigeons again. Alright? If you're regular, feel free to jump into whichever version you like. It's all good. But, if you are new to the show, you don't know what other of them look like, we're doing the pigeon together. I explained one per day. We're taking one leg, we're crossing over to the other side until it looks a little bit like this. Alright? We're going to bring our upper bodies down towards that leg, and you should start feeling a stretch here in the side of your hip. That is a glute muscle. You're going to feel a little bit here in the hamstrings as well, and you might also feel a little bit of pressure right here in the front of the hip where you're actually doing the fold. All right, let's take it down to the ground. I'm going to pull this little piece of cushioning back so that my ankle doesn't just rest on the hardwood, but you guys feel free to find something comfortable for yourself. All right. Once we're down on the floor, this leg is out in front. All right. I want you to sort of find the midpoint on this leg between the knee and the ankle, right around here for the knee. You've got extra long legs. The math might not be quite the same, but the midpoint is a roughly good spot for you to start. From here, I want you to find the midpoint down your body, or the middle line down your body. So in between your eyes, down your nose, down your mouth, down to your belly button. That middle line, I want you to sort of match up to that midpoint on your leg. I want you to try to keep your hips low while you fold forward and try to touch that line to that point on your leg. This is our pigeon stretch. Alright? We have some other options for things to do with your other leg. Right now, my leg is kind of just bent off to the sides. It's not impacting this stretch all that much, except for when I'm sitting upright. Now, my head is going, I don't like this position. But, we got some other options. If you want, you can stick that leg straight out to the other side, and you can do the exact same by folding forward. But there's probably another version of the pigeon that you've seen before that looks a little bit different. It is the one that shows up in yoga classes a lot, where you extend this back leg back behind you, and you feel this huge stretch in your hip flexor in the front. You might feel a little pressure, or maybe a lot of pressure in this back knee, depending on how much flexibility you got, and the stretch looks a little bit like this. A couple of quick tips if you're struggling with this back leg version. If you can do it, do it. But if you're struggling with it, here are a couple of quick tips. First one, you can elevate your front leg. All right? When your front leg comes up, your hips typically will also come up, unless you have insane amounts of flexibility already. All right? When your hips come up, that means this back leg has way more room to get underneath to get into a position that's a little bit more comfortable for it. Right? You can still do all of the pigeon, the folding, and the forward while having a little bit more chill in the back leg. So, now that you know all that about the pigeon, feel free to find something that you can elevate your leg with if you want to do that version. Couch, coffee table, ottoman. As long as there's a little bit of padding to protect your ankle a little bit, you should be fine. Alright, let's go! It's time to get into some pigeon stretches. Leg is across the body, extending the other one back behind us. We are trying to keep our hips low to the ground. And as low as we can before we fold forward. Alright, inhale. Exhale and fold. Sink into the ground, melt into the floor, turn into a little pile of jelly. Every time you exhale, see if you can fold a little deeper. Alright, 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, 26, 25, 24. Remember, you want to feel this stretch in the outside of your glute. You should be feeling it in your butt. 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, keep breathing, don't hold your breath. If you're a regular, experiment with straightening out your spine instead of completely relaxing. When you straighten out your spine, gravity will start to feel a little bit more intense and start helping to bring you down a little bit closer to the floor. Alright, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. That is our pigeon stretch. Come on out of it, and let's get ready to do the other side. Now we'll be done with the pigeon stretch. We're ready to move on to stretch number 5. Alright, leg is across the body, midpoint, middle line. Get into position, get ready to fold forward. What you do with your other leg is up to you. Keep the hips low, fold on down, inhale. Exhale, sink into the floor, melt into the ground. 30 seconds, let's go. 29, 28, 27, remember the goal is to feel that stretch in your glute. 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. My regulars, experiment with straightening out that spine and see if suddenly you feel the stretch in your glute enhance, increase. 12, 11, 10, 9. For everybody else, you can relax the whole time. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2,
1, 0. That is our pigeon stretch. I swear, I felt like a mosquito just bit my calf, but it looks normal, so I guess I was just feeling good. Alright, that is our 4th stretch. If you've been here for a while, you know what the drill is. We're doing 5 total stretches, and the 5th one is the side splits, because this is a 45 to 60 minute long side splits and hip mobility stretch. We do this every single day to practice a little bit of consistency, to build a little bit of community, to make the suffering we put ourselves through a little bit more fun, a little easier to get consistent with. Alright? So, that does not mean you have to show up every day. That just means that I'm here every day and you can join in whenever you feel like it. Alright? So take as many rest days as you need to. Don't beat yourself up if you're feeling real sore and you need rest. But come back, hang out, and let's keep stretching. Alright? Now that you know that, I think it's time for us to talk about some side splits. What I want you to do before we actually jump into these side splits is grab a little bit of hand support. Alright? The purpose of the hand support is to help you with doing this. Let your legs go wide and have your hands carry some of the burden of your body to make, this position a little easier on your body, right? This stool is real big and it's foldy. It's not a fancy fitness stool. It's just a regular step stool I use because I'm short. And if you have something similar, please go grab it and we'll be ready to use it real soon, right? I usually use this one, and it is quite a little bit smaller. So a whole range of different necks is probably going to be totally fine. You don't have to find one very specific exact thing. All that I do care about is that whatever it is strong enough to support your weight. Part of the reason why we do step stools is because they can obviously support your weight. The other reason why we do step stools is usually because they're light enough that you can go, get out of here, and you can toss it off to the side. When we are in some of these crazy side splitty positions, sometimes you're gonna be like, get out of here! And you're gonna wanna escape from your side split. So having something that's easier to move when you want it to move is gonna be pretty good. Alright? Now that you had a couple of seconds to go find something, let's talk about secondary options. If you have a kitchen chair, something that's relatively sturdy, you can absolutely use that. It might be a little bit taller, right? Is this that? Oh, there we go. Cool. It's taller. If it's taller, it's okay. You can just sort of rest your forearms on it. That was not very straight. Deflated. Alright. But hopefully you got the point. If you're on something a little bit taller, you can go onto your forearms instead of onto your hands. Cool? Now, let's continue. We're going to take that hand support and we're going to bring it with us to a wall. I want you to rest your butt up against the wall, and then I want you to put your hand support right in front of you. Open up your legs just a little bit. Let your butt rest against the wall. I don't know if you heard the thump that I just did, but I thumped my butt against the wall, thinking that it'd be like, but it wasn't that loud. So that's embarrassing. All right, let's continue. Once you're here, we're gonna fold our belly buttons down towards the ground. Fold. Whee! Put your hands on your hand support. And now we have a lot of stability, right? Our hands are on our hand support, our legs are going a little bit wider, our butt is resting against the wall. From here, give me a second, I'm going to remove this piece of foam as well. Ugh, too much foam. So, from here, we are going to let our legs go a little bit wide. It doesn't have to be crazy wide, so if you're just a little tiny bit wider, that's perfectly fine. What we're going to do next is rotate our legs. You got this nub in your thigh bone that if you go straight up like this, that nub will smash into your hip bone and it will hurt. So we gotta rotate our legs so that that nub kind of just goes into our butt area and it doesn't smash into the tops of our hips, right? The way we do this looks like this. Right now our toes are probably pointing forward, our knees are pointing forward-ish. We're gonna rotate the whole leg backwards 90 degrees, right? So instead of the toes pointing forward, they're gonna go boom, pointing up. The knees, instead of pointing forward, they're gonna point up. Your inner thighs, the inside, is going to be pointing forward instead. Alright? And we're going to do that on both sides. Heels down, toes up, knees pointing up. If you're new to this position, you haven't been in it before, I recommend you get back to that hand stool as soon as possible if you're not already on it, because your heels are going to be really tired real soon. From here, I want you to let your butt slide down the wall. I want you to adjust your hand support, adjust your hands so that you're taking some of the burden off of your legs, making it easier on yourself. And I want you to slowly slide, 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 slide. When you get stuck, don't worry about it. Wherever you're at, it's all good.
Alright? What comes next is I need you to find a comfortable-ish spot. I'm sure it's not actually comfortable. I know it's not actually comfortable. It's not I'm sure. I know it's not comfortable. But we want to find a position where you feel like you're balanced, where you feel like you're mostly in control. You don't feel like you're about to tip over. You almost feel like you can relax a little bit right here. Alright? The reason why this is important is because we're trying to stretch. We're trying to reduce the tension in our legs. And if you are feeling real scared right now, one little tiny twitch and you're going to topple over, your body's going to be flexing real hard, trying to keep you as stable as possible, and it's just like, please don't fall. And that is the opposite of what we want. We don't want all that tension. So find a comfortable spot. Take your time. Adjust your butt and how it's positioned against the wall. Adjust your hand support. Adjust your legs. Once you've found it, we're going to do our best to chill and breathe. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Sink a little deeper into your stretch. Again, inhale. Exhale, relax. See if you can just drop your butt a little bit more towards the ground. How far you drop is not important. What is important is that we try. And on the relaxation, we try to let our legs go a little bit wider. Alright? We're in position. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds, and that's it. That's how we're wrapping this. 30, 29, 28. Right now, your heels should be down, your toes should be up, your knees should be pointing up. 25, 24, 23. The top of your head is probably also more or less pointing up. 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. Keep breathing. Don't hold your breath. 15, 13, 12. A little bit deeper. Feel free to try it. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. That is it. That is our stretch. This is where having a light hand support yourself. Move it out of the way. Crawl forward a little bit. Let your legs come in underneath you with control. And breathe. That is our first side split stretch. That one takes a little bit longer because I go out of my way to make sure you guys know what's happening and explain why things are going the way that they are. So if that felt like a lot of suffering, it's because of the learning curve, alright? Number 2 and 3 will go a little faster. So take a couple seconds, rest, chill, catch your breath, do whatever you need to do. Grunt, retroactively grunt, make as many sound effects as you need to. And when you're ready for a little bit more, we're going to shake out our legs to reduce some tension. Come back up into standing, and we're going to shake, 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 shake. If your balance isn't so good, feel free to grab onto something, grab onto a wall for a little bit of support. And we want your legs to be loose. Alright? I like to tell you to start with your ankles. Looking at your ankles, because it will be really easy to see if it's going flop, 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 flop. Wiggle, 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 shake, 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 shake. When your muscles are loose, when they're relaxed, that is, what floppiness is going to look like. It's a weird sentence. Usually I say this in reverse. We want our legs to be relaxed because we were just super tense from the side split. And now, when your legs are relaxed, they'll be like this. Blah, 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 blah. Soggy noodle style, alright? Switch to this side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shakety, shake, shake, shake. Wiggly, 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 wiggly. Flop, 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 flop. Once you've shaken out your legs and they're feeling a little bit better, take a couple of small probing baby steps, and if they're feeling okay, roll your weight into one leg, big toe into the ground. There's almost no weight into this leg because all of this weight is in this leg. Because I just told you all of your weight is in one leg, right? And now we are going to work on mobility in this hip. We're going to take this knee, we're going to point it way far out that way, alright? And then we're going to do the opposite. We're going to go boom! Bring the knee all the way in so it's touching your knees together. We're going to keep on going back and forth and back and forth. If you're new to the show, really focus on contracting your muscles. Really focus on trying to bring your leg through its maximum range of motion. And if you've done this for a while now, you can have a little bit more fun with it. Alright? In and out and 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 whew. Alright. That's probably enough. Shake out your leg. Let it relax for a second. And let's do the same on the other side. All of your weight is now in this leg. And then in this leg, it's just the big toe coming down. Flex your glutes, point that knee out that away, and then contract your inside hip thingies over here, these muscles, and go boom! Bring that knee in. And then out. And then in. And then out. And then in, and then out, 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 and then out. That's probably good. Shake out your legs one last time, and let's get into Saspenum. Alright? Already removed all the foam, so this should be easy. Bring your butt to the wall, hand support in front of you. We're going to go a little bit faster because I explained it the first time around real deep and it was too much. Now, open up the legs just a little bit. Fold on down, hands on your hand support. Let your legs go wide. Let your butt slide down the wall. Find a deeper, stretchy position, but not super deep because we're rotating our legs. Our heels are down, our toes are up, our knees are pointing up. Our heels are down, our toes are up, our knees are pointing up to get our thigh bones to rotate out of the way so they don't smash into our hips. And we're going to slowly let our butt keep dropping down the wall, slide down the wall. We're going to adjust our hand support as we need to basically pin between our hand support and the wall. We're feeling stable. Now, find a comfortable spot where you don't feel like you're about to slip, you don't feel like you're about to fall, you don't feel like you're about to lean too far backwards or something like that. And let's breathe, relax. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Let your body sink into the floor if it's willing to go that way. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 2. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. That's 3. Do a little wiggle with each of your legs. We didn't do this the first time around because we were already hanging out in that position for way too long. But now I want you to try to push your right heel out a little bit, push your left heel out a little bit, push your right heel out a little bit, push your left heel out a little bit. And now we're ready for side split number 2. This time around, I want you to try to lean forward a little bit so that you can target the stretch on your inner thighs. What you can do is sort of lean forward so that your knees and your toes are pointing at a 45-degree angle towards the front instead of pointing straight up. That should shift the burden of that stretch a little bit more onto your inner thighs, and that is what we want. 30, 29, 28. Your hand support. If you feel like you're not feeling it in your inner thighs, you can always bend your elbows a little bit, and all of a sudden there will be a lot more pressure in your legs. 20, 19, 18, 17. If you want, you can add a little wiggle at any time to see if you got a little bit more range left in you. 12, 11, 10, 9. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, move your hands support out of the way. Crawl forward, grunt, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to, and come on back into some sort of resting, chilling position. Give your legs a little bit of a break in. Sigh. Take a couple of deep breaths. Relax. And when you're ready, let's shake out the tension. Come on back up into standing. We're doing a couple of seconds of leg shakes on this side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Shake some more, wiggle some more, flop some more, shake some more, wiggle some more, flop some more. And let's do the other leg. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, flop, flop. If your balance is not so good, hold on to something for balance. And remember, the goal is relaxation in the leg. We focus on the ankles because it's really easy to see when it's flopping around going crazy. You're probably relaxed, right? When your legs are feeling a little bit better, take a couple of baby steps, make sure everything is feeling okay, and let's move on down, or I guess up into our hips. All of your weight is in one leg. A little tiny bit of weight is in the other one. Big toe is down. We're doing some dance moves. Bring that knee all the way in, bring the knee all the way out, in, and out, and in, and out. If you're new to the show, focus on that range of motion, building up some strength, building up some control. If you've been doing this for a while and you're like, I got strength, I got control, then turn it into dance moves. Have fun with it, right? In and out, and in and out, and in and out. In and out, and in and out, and in and out. And let's switch out over that. All of your weight is on one leg, big toe is down, in and out, and in, and out. All of the rotation is coming from this leg bone where it intersects in your hip, by the way. So I know I'm doing a lot of stuff with my hands and body to make it, fun and dancey and stuff, but what we're really focusing on, don't lose sight of that because we're having too much fun. Alright? In and out and in and out and in and out. In and out and in and out and in and out. And whew. Check out your leg one last time. Let's get into side split. Number 3 and wrap this up. Take your hand support to the wall, butt to the wall. Hands on your hand support, legs going wide, get ready to rotate them. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up. Let your legs go a little bit wider, let your butt slide down the wall. Adjust your hand support so that you're a little closer to the wall. And breathe. Relax, sink a little bit deeper into your stretch. Let's find a comfortable spot where you're feeling more or less in control. And let's breathe. Inhale. Exhale, relax. See if you can sink a little bit deeper into the stretch. If you sink a little too far, you kind of do something funny and you need to adjust your hand support, and you adjust your butt, and you adjust something, feel free to take a second to do it. Alright? Inhale. Hold, exhale, relax. Inhale. Hold, exhale, relax. So you can sink a little deeper into your stretch. Let's do a fourth one for good measure. Inhale. Hold, exhale, relax. I did sink a little bit on that fourth one still, so that was good. Alright, from here, what I want you to do is add a little tiny wiggle. Push your heels out just a little tiny bit if you can, and let's get into side split number 3. You got the option for side split number 1. Heels are down, toes are up, knees are up, head is basically pointing up for that first version. We got option number 2, which is to lean forward a little bit so you feel more of the stretch here in the inner thigh. Pick whichever version you want. We're hanging out here for 30 seconds. I'm probably going to go for 40, so 30 please wrap, otherwise 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Everybody, you can stop if you want. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All right, I'm also done. Take a second. Walk your hands forward. Bring your legs in underneath you. Grunge, groan, make as many sound effects as you need to. And that is our third and final side split. If you are still resting, take your time, catch your breath. If you are ready to move on, let's go! Come on up into standing. And let's shake it out one last time. Shake out your ankles. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Remember, hold on to something for balance if you need it. And when your legs are feeling pretty relaxed, we're ready to move on to the other one. Let's go, other side. Shake, 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 shake. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. Flop, 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 flop. Remember, the goal is just relaxation, letting the muscles chill out so you got a little bit more control. And how you do it exactly is not that important. I focus on the ankles first because I want you to be able to see it go. Alright? If you want to start mixing in all sorts of things, you want to start being a crazy little squiddy octopus jellyfish thing, that works for me. Do whatever you want to do. Alright? What do we just do? Shake out our ankles. Let's move on into our hips. All of your weight is in one leg. Big toe is down. Let's go. Last round. In. And in and out and in. And in and out and in and out. Another side. In. And out. And in and out and in and out and in. And out. And in and out and in and out. And whew. Shake out your legs. Shake them out. Shake them out real good. Give them another flop. We're not getting into a third or fourth side split. We're getting into some joint checks. For our joint checks, what I want you to do is slowly move through some hip circles. Alright? Really pop that hip out that way. Lean on into it. Hold on to something for balance if you need to. If you're not that balanced or stable, take your time. Oh, slowly come on through. Lean into every angle that your joints, your hip joints. I guess there's two leg hip sockets. Joints, is this singular? Maybe it's plural. Your hips, whatever your hips are capable of, try your best to reach their maximum and feel that stretch in the side of your hips. They should be feeling pretty crazy because we just did some side splits. Maybe feel it here in the front when you come around. Keep on coming back and forth. If you haven't already, switch sides. Come on back. In your hips, you're like, ooh. Feel free to hang out there for a little bit and just give it some attention, give it some love, and come on around. There are totally fine versions of hip circles that look a little bit like this, right? Look a little bit more gentle or relaxed, normal, perhaps even, and you can absolutely do those. I super exaggerate because I want you to make sure you're going through your whole range of motion, spending some time trying to figure out if everything is feeling good or feeling okay. But once you've done that, you can just go fast. You can start hula hooping, wherever you want. Cool? We're going to move on into our final move now, and it is called a calf raise. Except our calf raises are a little bit crazy because we make the whole entire lower body start contracting all at the same time to try and stabilize ourselves. What I want you to do is pop into a bit of a squat. Alright? I want your legs about hips width apart. Not crazy wide. This is not what we want. Not super close. This is also not what we want. We want about hips width apart. Alright? From here, I want you to drop into a bit of a squat. I know we said we're doing calf raises, but we'll get there. Alright? From here, I want you to sort of lean forward just a little bit, so you almost want to tip. Then, I want you to push your knees forward a little bit as well, so that you got a crazy calf and Achilles tendon stretch happening right here in the back of that leg. When you are leaning forward this much, your toes are going to kick in. They're going to grip into the ground real hard to keep you from flopping forward, and that is what we want. Once your toes are doing that, the arch of your feet should be doing that. You should be feeling that stretch in your calves and Achilles tendon. Your quads are firing. Your low back is firing. We're going to do some calf raises. Put your hands down on the ground for support. Use your hand support from earlier if you want, or you can do this facing the wall so that you can put your hands on the wall for those support as well. Wherever you are, let's do some calf raises. Knees forward, chest forward, calf raise. Whee! Come on now. I want you to center your weight between your big toe and your index toe. And I want you to slowly come on back down with control. Reset. Push those knees forward. Feel that stretch in your Achilles tendon, in your calves, and come on up and down. Reset. Up and down. Reset. Up and down. Reset. Up and down. Reset. Reset. And once you have done as many as your quads would like you to do or not do, perhaps, we are done. That is it. What we just did was a super challenging set of calf raises. We got our toes, the arch of our feet, our ankles, our Achilles tendon, our calves, our quads, our knees, our hips, our low back, all working together. And chances are, if you're able to pull off like 75, 80% of that crazy super movement, your joints are probably doing fine. You can go back to doing whatever else you have to do for the rest of the day. Alright, so thank you so much everyone for coming in, practicing a little bit of consistency, working on your hip mobility, your side splits with me today. Remember, we're here every single day starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. So we started about an hour and 6 minutes ago. We do this every single day. So come on back, practice consistency, maybe suffer a little bit, but consistency, and we'll see you soon. Alright? I'm going to look at the chat real soon. I have not come within like 3 or 4 feet of the chat in this entire lab, so I'm going to slowly crawl over. And I'm going to check out questions and comments. But before I do that, I'd like to tell you about some of the other stuff that I do. Most of the time I make really fun, I hope, fun videos trying to convince you that movement can be awesome and you want to do more of it, right? If you got a couple of minutes waiting for coffee to come out the machine, you got, I don't know, microwave heating up food, you got a line that you're waiting in, and you're not super embarrassed about doing weird stuff outside, get a little bit of exercise in, alright? It doesn't have to be, anything crazy intense like we did, but If you do want to do something super crazy, you only wanted one move, the Cossack switch, this one is really good. You got that crazy hip mobility thing going on, you got the deep squats that you could be working on, you got this mobility and balance and goodies all in one super move. So if you're not outside in like the bank doing this on the floor waiting for a cashier, then I'm going with this. Just if you're not, if you are embarrassed, then maybe save that for somewhere where nobody will see. But there are other things you can be doing. Something really gentle like wrist circles, or even neck circles, neck rotations, or some shoulder rolls. Maybe just shaking out your hips a little bit when you're sitting in your chair, just to make your back a little bit less stiff. Those are really good for you, right? And they take almost no space, very little energy, and hopefully you can start turning them into little fun dance moves. Do, and you just have a little bit of fun with it, so that it doesn't feel like a burden, either emotionally or physically. Alright? So yeah, if you like those vibes, make sure to follow, make sure to subscribe, so next time you're doom scrolling while you're waiting for something to happen, you'll doom scroll into my content, you get a little healthy reminder, you get a little bit of movement. Alright? I'm gonna look at the chat now. I've seen a lot of good nights and goodbyes and thank yous, so thank you everyone for coming in, thank you for hanging out, and I'm gonna start scrolling. Certified at 20 says, thank you, can't stay tonight, no worries. I think you've been on some of the lives where we run for like almost 3 hours, so that's okay. The show. Certified 20 says, good night, Ken, and good night, everyone. Good night, good night, good night. Che sending lots of love, I appreciate it. Itai is back and says, thank you! That was amazing, as it is most of the time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Lina says, great job. Thank you. I might have misspoken a little bit. I also did catch myself saying that, and I was like, this could be, a little funny. True Blue says, even. Welcome back, True Blue. Certified 20 says, it burns! With 2 capital R's and a capital S. Yes, that is how the calf raises are supposed to challenge you, so you did them absolutely correctly. Make one Kinesis sends powerlifting and hearts. Thank you. Alright, I'm gonna scroll. Take a look. Mango says, my ankles couldn't even bend. It is crying. If they couldn't bend because you're exhausted, you're tired, and your ankles aren't working anymore, that's absolutely okay. But if they don't bend normally, something you can start working on a little bit, right? Very gentle moves that you can start experimenting a little bit with. And since I used the word very, 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 very like 4 times in that sentence, let's start with the actually more gentle versions. Your ankles, just like the wrists, can do a whole bunch of range of motion, right? And you can slowly grab your foot and work that ankle through that range of motion. And you might be surprised at how little or how much range of motion you actually have, right? When your muscles are relaxed and your hands are actively pushing you through your full range of motion, that should be pretty close to most of it. But if you try to use your own muscles to do some rotations, you might find that you don't have nearly as much access to that mobility as you did when you were applying pressure. So that indicates some of your muscles might be a little bit weak, or some of your muscles might be a little bit tight, or some combination of those two, right? Because there's actually a lot of muscles in your feet, like a couple dozen. So not all of them are in the ankles, so they're not actually all relevant. But your lower legs got a lot of different muscles, so lots of different things to train. Anyways, that can get you started on some gentle mobility, and over time you can start working on all sorts of other things, right? If your ankles don't bend, you can probably still work on some calf raises. I mean, assuming they don't bend this way, but they bend the tippy toe way, then you can still do some calf raises. And when you straighten up a whole bunch of the muscles in your legs, everything starts moving a little bit better, usually. Alright, I moved so far away from the camera, hold on. Let me scoot back. What else we got? I'm going to pause here on TikTok for a second. I'm going to take a look at TikTok. I'm going to take a look at YouTube chat, because YouTube chat is relatively short to do. Ashley says, hola, welcome back. Lois says, hello. Lexi Wild says, bro, you only have 2 people. Yes, I did only have 2 people on YouTube. For whatever reason, YouTube is really rough. But for most of the live today, we had over 100 plus people on TikTok, and that's how it's always been. There's a lot of people over on other platforms. And Chez says, my hips have felt a lot better since doing the cars. Thank you. Amazing. I'm glad that you feel that way. Truffle Hunter says, I really appreciate how approachable you make stretching. I couldn't touch my toes, but after following your beginner routine video for a while, I can get down there. Oh my gosh! That's amazing. Thank you for hopping into the chat and letting me know that, because that feels really good. That means people are watching that video, and that is good. Makes me happy if that, weird thing that it made you realize I was happy about it. Christopher Robeck says, he's a very good teacher. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate the support in the chat from all of you. I appreciate that you're trying to counter that negativity early up there. I appreciate it. Thank you. Lois says, I agree. He is a good teacher. Thank you, Lois. Hamish says, thank you for your work. You inspire me to be consistent. You are a great teacher. Dude, this is amazing. I'm gonna, my heart is all warm and touched me. Thank you. Lois says, finally did a whole session. Thanks. You're very welcome, Lois. Congratulations. Thank you for being so consistent and slowly working through it and doing the best that you can, and now you finished the whole session. I love it. Amazing. Alright, back to TikTok. I think that's everything on YouTube. And let's see what we got. We got a whole bunch of people who followed. Blue Lagoon says, you're a very good teacher, very easy to follow. Oh. Did I say something today to get people to compliment me as a teacher? Because it seems if both platforms are telling me this on the same time, it feels like it's my fault, right? Like I said something. I mean, okay, obviously if I did a good job, that might be a thing, but for everybody to say it, it seems really nice. Shareth, send in taps and send in emojis. I'm going to keep scrolling, see if there's any questions and comments that came in earlier while I was doing stuff to answer them, if I can. Brown Eye says, oh, thank you. Alright, and it looks like there's a stretch. Brown Eye says, what stretches work well for the sciatic nerve pain? Okay. The quick answer is I don't really know. And the reason why I don't really know is because the sciatic nerve goes down basically like your whole entire body. And it is like a center, it's like a meeting point for a whole bunch of different things across your body. So oftentimes if somebody is telling you that you have sciatic nerve pain or you have sciatica, it's could be any number of things. And that makes it a little bit more challenging to tell you specifically what will work well for nerve pain. Oftentimes, the main places you feel it is down your glutes and down your leg, right? But some people experience a lot of discomfort by bringing their knees towards their chest. So if that is something that, once you try it, you'll find out immediately, because it'll cause your sciatica to get more irritated and be a little bit more unhappy. That makes it so that sometimes the hamstring stretch that we do together on the show, our first main stretch, is not so good of a stretch for it. That might make the second warm-up exercise, our elephant walks, we're going knee in, knee out, knee in, knee out, like this, really not that good for your sciatica. But there are also people who don't have that problem. So it's kind of all over the place, and I don't have enough expertise on top of the information I just gave you to be able to do much more with that. So, short answer is I don't know how to help you. The long answer is because it's complicated and I just don't know. So, now that we have covered that, I'm gonna keep scrolling. Selena sends some sweating emojis, or the emoji where like you kind of have sweat sliding down your head, and I don't know. My glutes hurt. Oh, that's too bad. I don't know what stretch we were doing when your glutes hurt, but I hope it didn't last very long. Starburst says, hey, hello. Keep scrolling. Chase is welcome, everyone. Oh, thanks, Chase. We got, I think that's E-Time, right? It says, here, happy to be here. Hello, Ken, happy to be here. Lovely. Thank you, E-Time. And that is as high up in the chat as I can scroll. So, let's come on back down and see what else we got. And then it says, I have done flossing. Nerve flossing is good. Is really good. A little bit of the elephant walk is sort of in that same kind of territory of nerve flossing, nerve stretching. And that's basically the main one that we do that kind of falls in that category. But Yes. Itai says, I like every single interaction of yours. It's very accurate and helpful. Hey, that's so nice. I'm glad that you feel that way. I try to be accurate and I try to be helpful and I try to acknowledge when I have no idea what I'm talking about and I try to give as much as I think I do. And hopefully when I feel really unconfident, I send you to somebody who might know better. Because I don't need to be an expert to everybody for all things. That would just make me really tired. And then I would never stop researching. AGM says, how long does it take to untie extremely tight muscles? It depends. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on how brutal you want it to feel, because there are some really intense ways to work through some tight muscles. It also depends on how much money you want to spend. A really good sports massage therapist who specializes in messing with people who have really strong messed up legs or strong messed up muscles, they might be able to do crazy a bunch for you. And if you want to do sort of a gentle stretch, this show is designed to be relatively gentle, it might take a while because extremely tight muscles tend to need some extreme stimulation. Maybe that's extreme over a long period of time. Maybe that's extreme in an intense kind of way. Don't actually go super extreme in an intense kind of way. I was kind of exaggerating a little bit there because you don't know how much your muscle can actually handle before it causes an injury. So, specifically to your question, how long does it take to untie an extremely tight muscle? It depends on how much intensity you want to put into it. If you work on contracting the muscle and you work on relaxing the muscle, contracting and relaxing the muscle, so just, if it's your bicep, for example, because it's a very simple looking muscle to explain, if it's all bunched up somewhere, if you do a lot of movement back and forth, sometimes get you moving in the right direction. So sometimes all you need is gentle movement to help alleviate some of the symptoms. If you're suffering from something in a hamstring because you sit 12 hours a day, sometimes finding ways to do full range of motion and using your hamstrings to contract and then forcefully stretching out your hamstrings, which when I say forcefully stretching out your hamstrings, I mean you're actively contracting the muscle and then you're straightening out the leg and fighting that contraction. Sometimes that will just do the trick. But that is not an easy movement. There is a style of stretching called PNF. It's, I forget every time. Proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. That is going to be really hard to Google because you're not going to be able to spell it right because I can't spell it right and I know the word. So PNF, the letters PNF, is a style of stretching where you contract a muscle and you fight against the stretch and then it basically is a way of tricking your brain to let you stretch a little bit more because your brain is super protective of you and doesn't want you to get yourself into crazy positions, so it tightens up and it keeps you from getting into crazy positions. When you are contracting your muscle and your brain recognizes that you're contracting the muscle, it will be like, oh, we don't have to contract anymore, they're already contracting, everything is fine. So you can do a little Jedi mind trick to your muscles. You can do a Jedi mind trick to your brain, to your systems, and for a moment after you stop contracting, when you start relaxing your muscles, you'll be able to go a little bit longer or you'll be a little bit more relaxed. You'll be able to lengthen a little bit more than you would have if you just try to get into the position without having that contraction first. That was a really complicated sentence with a lot of potential commas in it. Let me try that again. There's a style of stretching called PNF, and the purpose of PNF is to trick your brain. Your brain has a built-in system where positions where it doesn't think that you're able to handle it. Whether that's true or not true doesn't matter. If your brain doesn't believe you can handle it, it's going to lock up your muscles. It's going to start tensing really hard to keep you from going into places where it doesn't think you can handle it. Right? So your brain thinks you're weak, and it's like, nah, you can't do this. Stop trying. And it's an automatic reflex. It kicks in, it tightens up, and it doesn't let you do things. In our side split example, like what we were doing today, your inner thigh muscle is probably tensed up, and you're like, ugh, and you couldn't move any further, right? And then we wiggled a little bit, and then we waited a little bit, and all of a sudden you go a little bit further. The thing you're fighting against there is not necessarily the length, the physical length of your muscles, not necessarily the capability of how long your muscles are. It is your brain going, hey, stop it, and it is overriding you wanting to go longer. There, it takes control. It's like my reflex is the big dog, right? You're just the little yappy one going, let me stretch a little farther, and the brain stops you. So PNF is basically just a system to trick your muscles, so trick your brain so it lets your muscles go a little bit longer than you otherwise would. And then as soon as you go a little bit longer, your brain's gonna be like, hey, whoa, what the heck? You cheated us, and it's gonna tighten back up. Once it's tightened back up, you just gotta repeat the process until you get a little bit further, and then at some point for the day, you might be done. You'll be like, okay, this was a lot of suffering. It is not easy, it is not comfortable, it is certainly very demanding on your willpower and your ability to suffer. So, the general protocol for PNF is to pick a muscle that you want to stretch, right? Get into a stretched position. So, in our hamstring stretch example, I can't really do any more with the bicep because I can straighten out my leg, right? But in the hamstring stretch example, when you fold it forward, you're feeling that hamstring get real tight, and you're like, oh man, I can't go any further. When your hamstrings are really tightening up, and we talk about pushing your heel into the ground, contracting the hamstring, trying to contract the muscle, that is PNF. When I say regulars, from like 20 seconds onwards, try to push your heels into the ground, try to contract your hamstrings. It's for about 10 seconds for most muscles. Some muscles are going to be longer, some muscles are going to be shorter. This will be something you'll have to find out through testing eventually by yourself, because everybody's going to be a little bit different. If we all had the exact same muscle endurance for whatever this is that we're doing, that would be a crazy coincidence. Alright? Now, once you've done that for a little bit, and then you relax, you slowly try to relax a little deeper into the stretch. Hypothetically, your brain just got tricked and lets you take a little bit more range. Once you've taken that little bit more range, you hang out there for a little bit, you can decide if you want to go for round 2 or round 3. But that contracting of the muscle while it's extended, that is not an easy thing to do. So, if you're willing to do a lot of that, you might be able to get your ultra tight muscle loosened up pretty fast. If you want to do more passive relaxation, it might take a long time, it might never fully relax, because you might be able to get some parts of the muscle to be ultra relaxed, and that part that's all gunked up might stay gunked up, and the stretch is coming from all sorts of other places and not coming from the place that you actually want. So you might want to be able to get it checked up, checked out. Wow, I'm just throwing all sorts of verbs, or words, not even verbs. And now I'm just throwing all sorts of wrong words out. Alright, you might want to get that checked out, because there's a lot of different things it could be, right? Extremely tight, you might have an injury there, and it hardened, you got some scar tissue. And that scar tissue is making it hard for like something to happen in your movement. That isn't necessarily going to go away all by itself with stretching. There is probably other stuff that can be done to help address it, but that is outside of my knowledge and scope of skill. So I'm going to call it right there. Hopefully that helped answer your question a little bit. Cool? Alright, I'm going to keep scrolling. Scroll. Adrian says, thank you, Ken, so help. Oh, you're very well. Oh, wait, that came in. Did I already scroll all the way to the top? Am I scrolling back down? Is this what's happening? I can't remember. Che coming in with the spell check, proprioceptive neuromuscular. Javier says best stretch goals for 9 to 5-seater people. Yeah, there are probably a handful of places that are going to be super helpful for you to focus on if you sit a lot, because you're at a desk a lot. The big one is probably going to be your thoracic spine. My thoracic spine is not that mobile. I got some pretty decent rotation, but my back bending is real bad. My slouching is fine, because everybody's got really good at that. But my back bending is really weak. But the spine tends to get
really not mobile from a lot of nostalgia. And that, for a lot of people, will be super helpful. There's parts of your spine that are designed to be more mobile, there's parts of your spine that's designed to be a little bit less mobile. The low back isn't designed to be super mobile. The thoracic spine is designed to be pretty mobile, and the neck, obviously, is designed to be pretty mobile as well. One of the situations that often happens when people mobile enough in the upper half of their spine is when you start bending at your low back, and then you start feeling low back discomfort and low back pain when you're doing things because your part of your spine that's supposed to move isn't doing so much of the movement, and then you're just sort of beating on the weakest part of the spine, and it becomes your low back that suffers. All right. The other place that you probably would benefit the most from, which is perfectly in line with our show, is the hips. Right? The hips are designed to be super mobile. Right? Your legs can do all of this, and then your back can do all of this. Right? They're designed to be very mobile. One of the prices of mobileness is you gotta have a lot of muscle to maintain that mobility. Right? Just like some of the most common arm injuries is that rotator cuff. A lot of different muscles interact and get up into your shoulders to help your arms move and do all of this stuff that your arms can do, right? Back and forth and side. Same deal with your legs. When your hip muscles get really tight, when they get really weak, you're not going to be able to move as much, and that's oftentimes has the low back taking up some of the burden. Now your lower back is experiencing the burden from your upper back being not super mobile, and it's experiencing the burden of your hips not being super mobile, and now your upper back is just double time suffering. All right. So for most people, the hips and the thoracic spine and the hamstrings are probably really good to work on. The hamstrings because they're kind of a hard muscle to work on in general, and legs are hard to work on. If you look at, trying not to send you down a crazy rabbit hole, but if you go onto body weight fitness subreddit, I don't know if you use Reddit, but for everybody, if you go onto body weight fitness subreddit, they have a really good beginner to like intermediate level routine that's designed so that you can do most of it pretty much at home without any equipment. What's hard to maximize oftentimes is the strength of your legs using body weight movements, because your legs are capable of outputting a lot of strength, right? Like you might have heard some of like the world's best squatters can squat almost like 1,000 pounds or something like absolutely ridiculous like that. And that's 1,000 pounds on top of them. They're already ginormous people, right? So it's like 1,200 pounds. Those types of numbers are going to be really hard to train for if you're not carrying extra weight to do it, right? Because you only have so much body weight. Same general principle applies to all of your leg muscles, not just your squatting muscles, your hamstrings, your calves, your ankles. All of those muscles are capable of handling a lot more load, and they don't do it very often. And one of the reasons we definitely know they can handle a lot more load is when you jump, when you sprint, when you run. Any time that happens, you're putting multiples of your body weight into those muscles, into those joints, right? So your body is capable of handling much more load, and for the most part, most of us don't really do much training to try to. The hamstrings are particularly difficult to train at home with body weight. Deadlifts are pretty good. Squats are a good place to start. That kind of covers a little bit of everything. If you want to go to a gym or you want to invest in a little bit of weight, some sort of tool to work on that. But the hamstrings tend to get pretty messed up when we do a lot of sitting. Because just like the hips, just like the back, when we sit down and don't do anything with them for 8, 10, 12 hours a day, they forget how to like turn on, they forget how to contribute, they forget how to be useful, just like our glutes do, and makes the rest of your life a little bit more of a pain in the butt, because these are really strong, big muscles. When they're not contributing, when they're not helping, they're just making everything else work extra hard,
and that is oftentimes when like your back is a little sore, a little achy. It's because some of those muscles still have to do their jobs, right? And then they're pulling twice their weight, pulling 3 times their weight to compensate for the muscles that aren't really contributing as much because we've trained them to be not really able to do their job. We just let them forget their job because they're not needed most of the time, right? So super long, explanatory-ish kind of way of saying your hamstrings, your glutes, your mid to upper back tend to be really good places to spend some time working on to help the rest of your body move a little bit smoother and move a little bit more easily. Alright? Whew! That was a long answer. What else we got? Lana says, appreciate how down to earth you are, we feel support. Amazing! Great. The Don's Digest says, you're great! Do you have a YouTube channel? I don't know why I said you are great so aggressively. I do have a YouTube channel. It is Splits on the side. So it's the same username as TikTok and Instagram and Facebook. Splits on the side. And all of these lives are recorded for YouTube, or recorded and posted onto YouTube because YouTube will host it for free and it's magic in that way. If, you know, all the videos put together were hosted on like my Google Drive, I'd be paying like $50 a month for for all the videos. Maybe more than that for all the videos that we have up already. I have done this live at least 300 times at this point, and that means I've got at least 500 hours of video on YouTube for just recordings of this live, not even the other random cool stuff that we make in the form of shorts and in the form of long form YouTube videos. So if you like the vibes of the live, the majority of this personality comes out, you know, on the live. I feel like I try to be funny, entertaining, and personable in the short form content, but how that comes across when you're looking at 14 seconds of content is a little bit different from how it comes across when I'm trying to answer a question or when I'm trying to teach something. So check that out, and if you like it, awesome. If you don't like it, you can just come back to the live and we can hang out more. Cool? Alright. We had great conversation today in one live. I appreciate it. True Blue says, like the chickens. I'll be visiting the chickens soon, actually. Is it this weekend? No, it's two weekends from now. I'll be seeing the chickens. So, is that true? What day of the week? Today's like... We're in August. I have a bachelor's party to attend at some point, and I can't remember the date now that I'm thinking. I thought it was next weekend, but it can't be next weekend because I have some other plans next weekend. So I'm gonna have to revisit. I don't know what I'm talking about. But I'm seeing the chickens some point in this month. The chickens will be back in the stories, back in the content very soon. When I say stories, I'm talking specifically about Instagram stories because that's where I usually post the stories. I think TikTok does have like a function that's sort of like stories, but I don't think anybody looks at those, so I haven't really gone out of my way to post into those. But now that I've said it out, maybe I'll try to remember to post the chickens onto the TikTok story as well, because you guys are on TikTok and True Blue just asked about the chickens. But yeah, stories I usually post on Instagram. So if you want to check that out, feel free to check it out. Because the username is the exact same, and I post pretty much the exact same content. One funny thing, if you don't know this about social media, is every single platform likes very different content. It is wildly different. The content that does really well on TikTok, the content that does pretty good on TikTok, might not do it at all well on YouTube. And this live, for example, does pretty dang well over on TikTok, but it does pretty bad over on YouTube. Like the lady or person throwing shade earlier was saying, there was like 2 people on the YouTube live while we had like 100 something plus over on TikTok. And every platform has their own algorithm. Every platform does it slightly differently, and I'm just playing lots of games all at the same time. So if you're ever wondering why you've seen some content a bunch of times, sometimes it's because we edit it for another platform and we go, well, we already made it, let's see how it does on something else. And sometimes it is good, sometimes it doesn't, and sometimes we just go, why did this do well? And have absolutely no idea. So that's what my life has felt like for the last couple of months, maybe last year at this point. Just going, that didn't work. Alright. but it worked really well on YouTube. And we have a video that has like a 1.5 million views on Instagram a couple months ago, and that same video on TikTok I think got like 30,000 views, maybe 50,000 views. I can't remember the exact number, but it's like, you know, order of magnitude with like a couple extra zeros difference to how I performed on Instagram. So that's just how stuff goes. I don't know if the chickens do better on one platform or the other, but the chickens don't tend to do that well. So that's okay. The chickens are easy content because it's extra fun to film, so it's easy to make. Alright, that is enough about the chickens. Ruda says, hello, I asked you last time about my lock knees and you promised me to come up with some solution. Oh, Ruda, you definitely did. And I did not do that yet. So, I'm going to say Ruda's name right now. And I'm going to take a look. Oh, I accidentally sent you an invitation. Please don't accept that, because I don't know what that invitation was. I don't know what I pressed. I don't know what would happen if you... But, I'm going to make a note about this right now, so that I make sure to do that real soon. Oh, wait. I know Ruda's doing it. What? I'm going to disconnect you. True Blue says, yay! The chickens! Okay, I think that is it. I am about ready to wrap. Hold on, I'm gonna make sure I have Ruda's username saved and copy and paste it just in case I do something dumb and I lose it again. Comment section, and you know what? I can't figure out how to do that, so I'm gonna just take a screenshot real quick, and hopefully that will work. Boom. Alright.